Away from the race that stops a nation, and viewers around the world will be joining us to watch that race. But still a couple to go. The Schweppes 1800, the first of them. We'll take a break and be back to Flemington on the second day of the carnival very shortly. Metres, and Jen, as I mentioned, viewers around the world will be joining us to watch the big race later on. As we take a look at the map for this event, they start on the riverside of the track, and they'll go about 400 metres before they make the turn as they start to move in. I know your friends in Hong Kong will be watching.
Yes, they'll have joined us just now for this race, and they'll be looking forward to seeing the telecast of the Melbourne Cup. Hello to everyone at Sha Tin in Hong Kong.
And Johnny Letts is over at the gates. What's happening over there, Lettsy?
Peter, the favourite, looks very well. Catalan Prince, he looks exceptionally well. He's drawn on the outside, but now the field fell away. He's going to have a good run, I'd say, with Peter Hutchison. Actually, the 10 horse looks pretty good. Red Rhythm with Frankie Dettori on it. It's very, very well. And I expect it to run a good race. And number 12, I'd say the three of them are on top of the others in looks.
Righto, Johnny Letts over there at the start, and that would have been an interesting conversation. John Letts and Frankie Dettori on the way to the stalls. I wonder who'd get the most words in. Terry Kennedy, quickly before they jump, last minute word.
Yes, the bookmakers are taking a pounding down here. They are looking to strike back here with Catalan Prince. It was yours for theirs. They've eased it out a bit, and now the punters have come for it. Also some money for Impending, Danny.
Light on, they're ready, and they're racing. Pretty good break too, but only a small field of 7, so tactics will play a great part in the race. Ironically, it was the first to begin. Been Dancing and Spanish Crest going up its outside, and then came fourth Stepfather from Red Rhythm Impending, and last of all was Catalan Prince as they settle down and run towards the 1400 metre point. Taking up the running is Spanish Quest for Wayne Treloar. It leads by about a length and a half to Stepfather, and the Blinkers getting to second. Been Dancing is now racing third. Red Rhythm goes to fourth, a half a length away. Tactics now fifth on the rail, 2.5 lengths to Impending, and 1.5 lengths to the favourite Catalan Prince on the right of screen in the yellow colours, and it's about 7 lengths off the leader, which is Spanish Quest. Spanish Quest is 1.5 lengths in front with not a lot of speed on. Second placing Stepfather. Been Dancing's third on the rail, 1 length away Red Rhythm. On the inside of it was Tactics, and about 2.5 lengths to Impending, and Catalan Prince was last of the 7 runners as they go over the crossing at the 800 metres point. Spanish Quest has been in the lead from the start at a length and a quarter to Stepfather. Been Dancing's had a charm run on behind the leader, then Red Rhythm fourth from Tactics, and about 2.5 lengths to Impending and Catalan Prince. This will just develop into a sprint home as they come towards the 600 metre point. Now they're starting to apply a bit of pressure to this leader. Spanish Quest is in front as they turn for home. Been Dancing's on the rails behind it. From Stepfather under the whip, and Red Rhythm pulls to the outside. Tactics needing a run 2 lengths away, then a Catalan Prince, and Impending back towards the inside. Spanish Quest inside the 300 metre point, the leader. From Tactics getting a good run through. Red Rhythm to the outside. Spanish Quest kicked out. It's got over 2 lengths in front. Red Rhythm is after it. Then Tactics, Catalan Prince down the outside. Spanish Quest is a good leader though. He got away 2.5 lengths to Red Rhythm, who's trying, and they were followed by Been Dancing, Tactics and Catalan Prince, but Spanish Quest all the way. Spanish Quest, well ridden. Wayne Treloar wins 2 lengths to Red Rhythm. Been Dancing third, Tactics fourth, and then Catalan Prince Impending, and Stepfather has run last.
Well, isn't it terrific to see Wayne Treloar come back and ride a Winter Cup day, Dan? He's been one of the, great jockey. He's a top apprentice. Great to see him ride a winner here like this.
He rated it so well in front because it was just a sprint home, Gary Willits, and it was going to make it difficult for horses that settled back in the field. Spanish Quest at real good value, $14.50 and $5.30. Red Rhythm had every chance. Spanish Quest lengthened its break on Red Rhythm up the straight. $2.50 a place for Red Rhythm, and no third dividend for number 12, Been Dancing, which you'll find just hangs on to third in front of Tactics. Catalan Prince and Impending, for that matter, were both disappointing.
They definitely were. All the honours with the winner. It jumped, led well, and Wayne just rated the horse beautifully. Had a lovely run in front, and they sort of left him alone, Dan, and that's what won the race for him.
And he quickened too when they straightened to the 400 metre point. The horse put an extra 2 lengths on the horses that were immediately behind it, so he always probably looked the winner up the straight. You were expecting Catalan opening and perhaps Red Rhythm to run on, but they just weren't good enough under the conditions. Here's the run in the straight.
Yes, well, you can see Wayne Treloar is about 1 horse off the fence in the red and white colours, white cap. Directly behind him in the blue cap is the Been Dancing. And right on the second from the outside is Frankie Dettori. You note the different whip action. Very different from the way we use the whip, the Australian jockeys. puts the whip away, Frankie, and rides it hands and heels. He's got the stick again. But Wayne Treloar getting everything out of the Spanish Quest.
He's ridden plenty of winners too for Johnny Mars, so he'd be absolutely thrilled. Let's talk with Wayne with John Oates.
Yeah, Wayne, it's a good win, Spanish Quest. We're led all the way. Wayne, will this set the pattern for the racing later in the day, do you think?
Wouldn't be surprised, John. You know, it is heavy. If they handle it and they're right there, I reckon they'll be hard to beat.
You know, you've stuck to the fence, close to the fence all the way, never left the rail, and you just the horse seemed to just hold them pretty easy in the run of the line. It's going to be interesting in the Melbourne Cup, isn't it, for the horses up the front, the leaders. You never know, they might keep going.
I reckon the pacemakers have got something on them, especially if they can handle it going.
Yeah, good luck, Wayne. I noticed the horses sprung a plate, near side front plate, so there was a bit of merit in the win.
I kept you nice and balanced, John.
Good luck, Wayne.
Yeah, get off, Letsy. That's what John Mars saying. They just caught you. That was a good win.
Yeah, it was a solid win. You know, he's quite a useful horse, really. And then one day, you know, he ran well to Bullwinkle and unfortunately broke down after that. So here he is, he's back on his feet and winning at Flemington on the main day.
That makes up for the first race. What happened there?
Well, unfortunately, when he was going into the barrier, he bumped his head and had a light bleed from the nostril. So I said to the boys, for goodness sakes, get these two out of the barrier. So anyway, it's all gone in well, and it's great for Smokey and it's good for the stable.
Yeah, now Smokey Treloar, we haven't seen him in the winner's circle in town for a long time.
Well, Smokey's in a position where now you've got the younger brigade of riders coming along. I think we call him Smokey, but Wayne's he's obviously fit. And he's still as game as he was, but he doesn't get the opportunities. And I've got a theory. I don't like taking winning jockeys off last start winners, and that was what happened. So he's let him stride, and the horse has run well.
Congratulations, John.
Thanks very much.
The winning trainer, John Marr, there with Spanish Quest in race 4. And the time for the journey was 1:53.2 as Wayne Treloar brings Spanish Quest back to scale. We'll take a break and return with Network 10's live and
Welcome back to Flemington. There is one of the car parks. Of course, for a lot of people, there's a hell of a lot more activity in the car park than there is on the racetrack on Melbourne Cup Day. But there's a lot of people here too. And I get the feeling, having walked around outside, that it's a really great atmosphere. A lot of people dress up and just have a ball. Mr. Lawler checking correct weight, as he always does.
Right.
He'll go over to the stand.
5p Payne, 55.
And will then give us correct weight, as he invariably does. I can't remember many occasions when he hasn't.
15,
Here
10,
comes the right arm.
15, 3 and 5. 15, 10, 12. Correct weight, thank you.
So Mr. Lawler is happy. There is correct weight. Now Danny Malecki can give you the Victorian dividends on the 4th.
$14.50 and $5.30 Spanish Quest. Red Rhythm at $2.50 and no third dividend for Bean Dancing. 15, 10 and 12 the placings. Quinella $25.70. Trifecta $339.90 and the race to race double $52 even. The numbers 15, 10 and 12.
All right, we're ready down in front of the members. Here is Richard Zachariah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the presentation for the Schweppes 1800. Our host for this race is Mr. Robert Hunter from the VRC. Thank you, Mr. Hunter. Our sponsor, of course, is Schweppes Cotties, and from that company is the Managing Director, Mr. Andrew Coslin.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Schweppes' support of racing stretches back well over 100 years, and today we remain closely involved with the sport both here in Australia and many other places around the world. But I doubt whether we've ever had a race that was so severely disrupted before the start by bad weather and late scratchings. But full marks to all those who got to the post and for giving us such a marvellous race. Flemington on Melbourne Cup Day is a very special place to be, and we're delighted to renew our acquaintance with our old friends here today. We hope we can continue the relationship for many years to come. Today the television broadcast goes out to something like 300 million people around the world, and it gives us a great opportunity to showcase our new yellow and black colours, which are being aired in Australia for the first time. We hope you agree it brightens up the otherwise gloomy day. They've never looked better than on
Thank you, sir. In fact, thank you to all of our sponsors, as we keep saying. You just could not do it without them. Well, there's Melbourne in the background, and I just went for a little wander outside Peter Donegan. I got an idea, and I think I usually get a better idea from where I'm sitting than you. There's a fair amount of people here today on Melbourne Cup Day.
Seems like a terrific crowd, really, considering the weather, Tim, and the fact that it did rain Saturday night. Jan, it rained yesterday, and it rained, of course, again this morning. So the crowd, really, you've got to hand it to the people of Melbourne. They do love their sport, and they love their Melbourne Cup.
Well, there is nothing like the Melbourne Cup, and it really, regardless of the weather, you do have to be here out at Flemington. This is where it's all happening, and anything can happen, in fact. So it's a great day, regardless.
And you know it's getting close to when we get to the race that's entitled the Great Western, traditionally the lead-up race to the Melbourne Cup. And the scratchings here, 4, 5, 6 and 8. So we've got a field of 6 to run. What did you make?
Well, Pete, I do like number 10, Sirinoos. I think this horse was quite unlucky at Flemington 2 starts ago, and then at Werribee hit the rail and then got it. It looked like she actually got galloped on in that race, and she still ran on quite well. They've been both 2 good performances, and I do think she can go well here. From number 3, Central Express, and for third I've put in the top weight. She's pretty good, Mia Moore, but just a slight doubt on this heavy going.
Like a Smile, number 2 is my pick in the small field in race 5. Let's see if there is much activity in the betting ring with the small fields today. Terry Kennedy.
Well, there certainly is, Pete. Yes, some of these bookmakers say they hold around $200,000 on Cup Day and some $100,000 on the Cup. And the latest news on the Cup is the money continues to come for Double Trigger. Now the latest news on race 5, the Great Western, and no doubt about it, Mia Moore, $7.50 on the tote, about the same in the ring. Like a Smile is all the rage down here at the moment. It's yours for theirs. Maybe just a little bit better than yours for theirs. So if you put $1 on, you'll be getting around $2.30 back. Central Express, $6.50 on the tote. It's half that in the betting ring. And there's also some money for the bottom weight in their Sirinoos. It's double-digit odds, but maybe worth some specking. Jenny Likers.
Yes, Terry Kennedy down there in the betting ring, and a bit of specking for your tip, Jen, as there always is.
Well, I do like... Oh, well, I thought it has been quite unlucky, Pete, so she has got some claims in this race.
OK, race 5, the Great Western. 2:25 is the starting time, and we're getting ever closer, Tim, to the running of the big one, the Melbourne Cup.
Yes, and I think probably more interest in this Melbourne Cup than many of the Melbourne Cups before it. There's so many variables. We'll take a break and come back with you very soon. Royal Flemington on Cup Day, looking a picture, as are the great majority of the crowd who've joined us here today. The Melbourne Cup of 1995. Here's a quick Cup, I was about to say the Cup update. No, Great Western update. Here's Danny.
$7.50 for Mia Moore. Like a Smile, $2.10 in this small field. Again, only 2 place dividends. Central Express, $6.40. Fabulous Frisco at $6.20. And then down to Secret Rule at $5.60. Blinkers First Time, and Sirinoos at $16.
Thank you, Dan. Lots of activity in the betting ring, as you'd expect, with a race coming up. And, of course, the Cup not far away at all, about an hour and 10 or 15 minutes, and we'll be with you with the great race. Meantime, Sandra Sully has one of Australia's great musical stars. With her, Simon Gallagher, and sibling too, Sandra.
Yes, I do. I had no idea that you guys came as a double pact, really. Now, the Mikado's just finished in Melbourne, and you had a very successful season in Sydney, and you're off to Adelaide next.
We're off to Adelaide tonight. As soon as we leave the Cup, we fly off there and open tomorrow.
Andrew, what's it like working with Simon?
Oh, it's good, actually. It's really...
You have to add here, he's the producer as well.
No, we've been enjoying it. It's been good to spend the time together.
OK, now Adelaide's pretty excited about the show coming down there. How long are you there?
We're only there for about 3 weeks, and then to Canberra, then home for Christmas. Thank goodness.
Now, you're a bit of a veteran of the Cup, but Andrew, this is your first.
It's my very first Cup, and I'm very excited.
Yeah.
OK, now we've got to get some idea of who you're going to back today.
Well, I think I'll have to go for Nothing Like a Day.
What about you, son?
I think I would love to see a Gay Waterhouse horse win. I've got great respect for the family, and it would be terrific if any of her horses win.
Now, you can't have too big a day today. I mean, let's hope you do financially, but you've got to get on this plane tonight. Best of luck with Mikado and Adelaide, as it tours the rest of the country. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck. Hope you back a winner.
Great.
Back to you, Tim.
Sandra, thanks. Well, now, Harry White, here's a name for the Melbourne Cup. They're synonymous, the two names. White is part of the great history of this race, having ridden a record equalling 4 winners, including the dual champion Think Big, who is buried lovingly on Harry's property. He's retired now, of course, Harry White, but is part of this carnival forever.
My first actual ride in a race was a winning ride at Flemington. So, you know, must have been meant to be.
And that was back in 59?
It was. Yes, a few years ago, yes.
36 years ago, in fact. And between then and now, Harry Francis White made an indelible mark on Australian racing. 4 times he won the Jockeys Premiership, along the way capturing 2 Caulfield Cups, a Cox Plate and, of course, a record equalling 4 Melbourne Cups.
74, 75, 78, 79.
Only one other man, Bobby Lewis, had been able to boast 4 Cup winners as a jockey. But Harry's winners were special, the first of them becoming his best mate. Think Big and Harry won the great race in 74 and 75, and the grand old stayer spent his retirement years on the White property at Gisborne until his death earlier this year. Harry lovingly erected a special grave where the old horse died.
Yep, great old horse. Great horse, yeah.
You miss him?
I miss him very much. He was part of our farm here, and I do. He's buried just over there on the side of me there. I still miss him, and I know his old mate does too, Hyde Perno.
Another of his Cup winners, Hyde Perno, is also in Harry's care on the farm, and it's not hard to tell that the rising 22-year-old is well looked after.
I like to spend my hours working with animals. Got my living. I made my living with horses, and I'm happy with the cows. Just natural things, simple things in life. They please me.
It was lack of opportunities that finally convinced Harry to hang up the saddle at age 51. His last ride was at Geelong in January. But giving riding away after it had been his life proved tough.
It was. I didn't know how to do it. I didn't know how to stop. It's a bit like an addiction thing. Probably, I don't know, people that are addicted to problems, they probably have another fix. But it was a bit like that with me.
Harry says his involvement with the racing industry is now over. The end of his final season gives us the chance to say thanks for the memories.
I certainly had no problem to adjusting to sleeping in of a morning, and who's to say I might be dead in another 20 years, so I may as well enjoy the few years that I have left.
Fabulous Harry White, just one of the real traditions of this great race. And of course, once again this year we're giving you a chance for you to win on each day of the Melbourne Cup Carnival.
Of 6 scratchings, 4, 5, 6 and 8, and a field, as I said, of 6, so 2 place dividends. And we start with Mia Moray, trained by Tommy Hughes Jr. and to be ridden here by Patrick Payne. And what about the last start at Caulfield in the 1,000 Guineas, Jen? She only beat 1 home.
Yes, well, it was probably a battling effort there, I'd say, Pete, but really she's had 4 runs back in. She's been racing in better races than this. I think it's a lot easier for her here. She is unknown on the wet going, so that's a bit of a mystery. These are 3-year-olds, at the risk of repeating myself too many times. A lot of them haven't been on the heavy track. So if she handles this, she's definitely got the class about her. She's got a bit of weight on her back, 56, but easier for her.
Like a Smile, number 2, Damien Oliver takes the ride for Peter Hayes here, and she is a short prize favourite on the strength of the fact that she's attempting the hat-trick.
Yes, she is. She's been racing very, very well. She ran on very strongly at Morfettville 2 starts ago, and then, of course, the last start winner at Cheltenham. She's quite promising, this filly, but being bred by Atalak, the sire, normally they don't handle the wet all that well, so that's a bit of a query on her on the heavy going.
Number 3 is Central Express, an interesting runner here. Frankie Dettori takes the ride for Lee Friedman. And did this filly go at Moonee Valley? She ran her first 1,000 metres, I believe, in quicker time than they ran the Moir Stakes in.
Yeah, she has got some speed, that's for sure. And the start before that at Ballarat, she got well back in that race, and she ran on quite strongly towards the end. So back to 1,400 metres here, I think that's going to suit her. And she does appear to handle the wet conditions quite well.
Fabulous Frisco is just over a 5-1 chance on the tote. Andrew Findlay, the promising young apprentice, takes the ride for Gerald Ryan. Second at Werribee at its last start, and probably jumps up a little bit in class here, but it is only a small field.
Yes, well, she was fair and squarely beaten at Werribee by Harry Appel. She's a filly that does go quite well. Generally disappointing, this horse's form. She hasn't been on the wet, so that's a little bit of a worry for her. And if you go back to her start 3 starts ago at Flemington, she ran second. She carried 57 there. A bit of a weight drop here, so probably left with a place chance.
Lee Friedman's got 33% of the field of 6 here because he's got number 9 Secret Rule engaged, and Greg Hall is the rider. And third at Seymour at its last start after a 6th here at Flemington.
Well, a little unlucky at Seymour there. Probably could have finished a bit closer. I'm not saying she could have won, but maybe a bit closer to the winner. 51.5 here. Greg Hall's going to help. She's an unknown on the going, and she has got the blinkers on for the first time, so that might help her. Maybe a place chance in the race.
The one you fancy is won by Luskin Star, Jen, number 10 Syracuse, and Michael Clark is the rider, and she's only pint-sized.
Well, she is only small, this one, but look, she's shown me enough that she has got enough ability. She has won on the dead going at Bendigo, and her last 2 runs have been pretty good. She hasn't had a lot of luck at Flemington or Werribee, so I gave her a chance at fairly nice odds.
I'll stick with the favourite, number 2, Like a Smile.
I'm going for number 10, Syracuse, from number 3, Central Express, and I put in the top weight, number 1, Mia Moore.
And as they go out through the arch and head right for the far side of the track at the 1400 metre mark, tote update with Dan Malicki.
Peter, Mia Moore, $7.63.20, Like a Smile, $2.10, but very much under the odds. $5.60 Central Express, $6.40 Fabulous Frisco. Then down to Secret Rule at $5.90 and $12.90 Syracuse. This is also an exacta race, first and second in the correct order. And there's only 2 place dividends because of the field of 6. The Cup, Double Trigger, $5.60, Jeune, $15, Vintage Crop, $9.30, the Phantom Chance, $35, It's All in Fun, $20, Doremus, $9.70, Stony Bay, $44, Bullwinkle, $24, Count Shivers, $14, Dartchart, $20, Double Take, $48, Quick Ransom, $17, Sir Kingy, $62, Few Are Chosen, $11.50, Yes Indeed, $19, Storm, $17, Boart, $32, Coachwood, $48, Dupan at $81, Electronic, $23, and the 3-year-old Nothing Like a Dane, $16.30.
And the Prime Minister's wife, Anita Keating, is here today as she was on Saturday, Derby Day, to witness the running of our great race, and it is 1 hour away. The Foster's Melbourne Cup getting closer as they go to the stalls. Race 5, the Great Western. You're watching Melbourne Cup Day, live and exclusive on Network 10 around Australia. The hats come in all shapes and sizes and all sorts of designs, and she'll have someone's eye out if she's not careful. But it is pretty crowded down there in the betting ring, with only a field of 6, plenty of activity still for the Great Western, and the map indicates that they start at the furthermost point of the track, right over near the bridge, and they are almost on a continual turn after about 200 metres, and then they'll sweep into the straight. Like a Smile from myself, Letzi and Roy, and just to be different, as usual, Jen has gone for Syracuse, number 10. Over at the barrier with the 6 runners is Johnny Letts. What's the scene like over there, Lettsy?
Yeah, well, Pete, the favourite looks very well, Like a Smile. She looks exceptional. I did see her win in Adelaide her last 2, and she's been very impressive. Central Express looks very well. And Jenny's horse, Syracuse, looks well too. There's a horse here, they're having a little bit of trouble with the top weight, Mia Moore at the moment. They've got a blindfold on it, and they're just trying to get it into the barrier, and I don't know how we're going to go here. But I'd say, looking at them, the 2, the 3, they look the best out of them, and I expect them to fight it out, just on looks.
We can see the barrier attendants over there with the...
Mia Moore.
Yes, with Mia Moore. Gee, they do a tremendous job. We talk about this every year, but this can be a very dangerous situation, and these boys do it so well, Johnny.
These horses are very quick to move, and these attendants are very well schooled in this. They're working every day of the week on them, and this filly, she's just in a little bit of a reluctant mood to move. She won't go forward. She'll go backwards. She won't go forward. But I'm sure they'll get her in.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that as we go down to Terry Kennedy in the betting ring for the last minute update. Terence?
Well, Pete, the update from down here is Like a Smile. Well, it has drifted dramatically in the betting. I'm not too sure if it's lost a leg on the way to track, Like a Smile. Letzi likes the look of it at the moment. Just a little bit of late specking, but he's out to around $4 with bookmakers, a lot shorter with that on the tote. Of course, the bookmakers and the punter, it's a game of chess. A quick tip for the Melbourne Cup, Ingrid?
Oh, I think it'll be Double Trigger.
There you go, Double Trigger, and Like a Smile, as I speak, is being back late here.
Well, we just saw what a difficult job it is for the barrier attendants because they have to cope with the heavy ground too. You can even slip over behind the gates, and it can be a very dangerous situation. Gary Willits is up there with Dan, and we've spoken about the job these boys do over the years. It is a sensational job that they do.
It certainly is, Peter. And Mia Moore was really digging her toes in, but she's all right now. Paddy Payne's just getting back on her now.
And now they're all locked away. Race 5 at Flemington, the Great Western, on Foster's Melbourne Cup Day, field of 6.
No, sir, hang on.
Set to run.
Get him round.
Right on, and they're off and racing now. The favourite was a little bit slow to begin, Like a Smile. She'll drop out to the tail of the field. Mia Moore jumped out well, and so did Fabulous Frisco, and The Secret Rule up there with Central Express. Sarah News dropping back to 5th on the inside of the favourite, which is Like a Smile. 1,200 to go, and the Gerald Ryan trained Fabulous Frisco takes up the role of leader from Central Express, getting into second placing. Secret Rule third, Mia Moore 4th. 2 lengths away, Sarah News, and Like a Smile last of all, but only about 3 lengths off the lead at the 900-metre point. Fabulous Frisco settled down 3/4 of a length in front. Central Express racing second, 1 1/4 to Mia Moore third on the inside. They were followed by Secret Rule running fourth, one of 2 fillies on the race side by Melbourne Cup winners. Secret Rule's by the 1990 Melbourne Cup winner Kingston Rule. Around it 3 wide now. Like a Smile was signed by the 1986 Melbourne Cup winner at Tallack. It's 5th, the favourite out deep, and Sarah News last of all as they approach the home turn. Fabulous Frisco turns at the 550, 1 length in front of Central Express. Mia Moore's close enough if good enough now, ridden along as the leader got 2 lengths in front. Secret Rule 4th, Like a Smile still 5 lengths off them, has lost ground of anything as they run down to the 300. Fabulous Frisco going okay, 1 length in front of Central Express. Second now, Like a Smile is starting to warm up, and then Mia Moore, but Fabulous Frisco going okay. Leads from Central Express. Like a Smile running on late now. Fabulous Frisco in front, Like a Smile after it. Fabulous Frisco in front, still a length in front. Like a Smile won't be able to pick it up. In fact, it ducked in near the line, and Fabulous Frisco won by a length and a half. Like a Smile second, 3 lengths away third, Central Express, and then Mia Moore, followed by Sarah News, and last of all was Secret Rule.
Well, Dan, it just seems if you can get on that fence and get on that good bit of ground and lead, it just seems to be such a big advantage to you.
It is indeed, isn't it? 1:26.3 was the time, and 5:30 and 2:60 approximately for Fabulous Frisco. Ridden by Andrew Findlay, $1.60 for Like a Smile, no third dividend for number 3 Central Express. It will be 7, 2 and 3 across the line. She was a long way back, Like a Smile. I think she's going to appreciate a bit more ground when she gets it, but she didn't seem to travel well except for the last 200. She started to work home well, Gary.
Right up ground, that's right. Well, here's Fabulous Frisco leading here in the green cap, breastplate. In the blue and white cap is Damien Oliver on Like a Smile, but all the honours were with Fabulous Frisco. It led all the way, did a good job. Young Andrew Findlay kept it going well. Like a Smile's trying hard, but to no avail.
Gary, in the 3 turning races, one was a hurdle, one was an 1,800-metre affair, one was a 1,400-metre affair. The leader has won all 3 of those. I wonder how significant that might be for the Melbourne Cup.
Well, that's right. Like when we walked the track, it definitely seemed that strip in there was the best. I just noticed Like a Smile ran right in on top of Fabulous Frisco getting to the line.
What would cause that, do you think?
Well, I think it's under a hard ride here. Damien's really hard at it. And when they feel in the pressure and the ground's a bit wet, they're inclined to roll around with you a little bit. You'll see it just as we get near the line. Gets awfully close. There's Damien had to pull off the other horse's heels.
OK, John Letts has the winning jockey.
Andrew Findlay, the rider of Fabulous Frisco. Andrew, the pattern of racing today, there's been 3 races round the turn, and the leaders have won the lot.
Well, it seems like a good little leaders track here today. They're getting into the ground, but it's not real sticky. Very, very nice underneath.
And your horse travelled well through the ground all the way. Would you say it was very heavy, or the horses were in front where they got no other pressure on them, that they're handling it pretty well?
I just don't think the horses from behind being held up can improve very well in the ground today. I think the ones in front that are dictating their own pace can let go when they want to, get the others off the bit, and they just don't seem to be able to find much today.
It's going to make it very interesting for the Melbourne Cup, Andrew, isn't it? Because we've got a lot of leaders in the Cup, and we've got horses that are going to be expected to come from behind. Do you think they can come from behind, pull out to the middle, because the inside seems the best by far?
Well, this is right, but I mean, they're a different quality of horse in the Melbourne Cup, and you know, they can produce anything really.
Well, Andrew, congratulations on your win and a good ride, and best of luck for the best of the carnival.
Thanks, mate.
A couple of good talkers out there, Johnny Letts and Andrew Findlay, and here's Gerald Ryan, the trainer. Be hard to get a word in between those two.
It would be, yeah, but at least when Andrew opens his mouth, he says something. Don't know what he said then, but he says something.
Well, straight to the front, hard on the rail, that looks like the place to be.
Well, we had the intentions of doing that before the rain even come. You know, she's been a bit disappointing travelling up and having the nice runs in races, and we've ridden her from just behind the pace and back in the field, and she hasn't been quickening. So when we decided to back her up after the last week at Werribee, we'd go straight to the front on her, but I'm just a bit worried there's a bit of pace in the race, but it's worked out all right.
Well, it's a good win for the owners, but we can blame one of them for the weather we're having today, is that right?
Yeah, one of the women in the syndicate said she's only been to the Melbourne Cup 4 times, it's been the last 4 years, so I told her she wasn't coming next year no matter what was running.
I hope you're right, mate. Gerald Ryan, well done.